to day 36 of my 6th annual SLAP challenge. SLAP, S-L-A-P, stands for squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. We are doing 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day every single day except Sundays for 40 days. And this is day 36 already, but that does not mean that it is too late to join the challenge, because it is never too late to join the challenge. You can jump in and start today, and that's fine. Just do the last 5 days of the challenge with me. Why not? You do not have to do the challenge, of course. If you just want to do this workout with me today, that's great. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video. So if you would prefer to just skip straight ahead to the workout, feel free to use the chapter markers to do that. But if you would like to hear a little bit about what the challenge is before we begin, let me start by telling you that there is a playlist for this challenge that contains all of the workouts in chronological order. I'm going to link the playlist up here in the iCard. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video, and I will link it again at the very end of the video just to make sure you can't miss it. So click on that link and save the playlist. Even if you're not sure whether or not you want to do the challenge yet, save the playlist so that when and if you do decide that you want to join the challenge, you have all of the workouts readily available to you. And then just begin by watching that day 1 video. The video that I shared on day 1 of the challenge, of course, contains our day 1 workout. But before the workout, I took a long time to explain everything you need to know about the challenge, what it is, exactly how it works, why we're doing it, how you can participate, and where to begin. I also spent a long time explaining and demonstrating how to do your squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups with the correct form. And I provided tons of beginner modifications that I promise you can do, even if you're an absolute beginner, because this year I'm going out of my way, making a concerted effort to ensure that the challenge is accessible to super duper ultra day 1 beginners. So if you are a beginner, you have never done a workout before in your entire life, and you think you can't do a squat or a push-up, yes, you can. You are in the right place. Okay, you can do squats, you can do lunges, you can do abs, you can do push-ups, and you can do this challenge. So please save the playlist. Watch that day 1 video. Give me a chance to convince you that this challenge is for you. And then when you have decided that you want to participate, you have a couple of options. So first of all, like I said, you can just jump in today and do the final 5 days of the challenge with me. I don't care, okay? If you make the commitment to do it, then it's your challenge, okay? If you're the one doing it, it's your challenge. You do it in whatever way works for you. So you can jump in today, fine. If you do want to start the challenge on day 1, just make sure that you are starting with your day 1 workout on a Wednesday. Any random Wednesday is fine. As long as you start with that day 1 workout on a Wednesday, everything will fall into place. All you need to do is just follow along with the playlist. I have made it super easy to follow along. Now, I designed this as a 40-day challenge, but if you are a beginner and that seems insurmountable for you, you can still do the challenge, okay? It is so easy to customize this challenge. The only requirement to participate in this challenge is just that you're doing squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups every day. Again, the way I'm doing the challenge is 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day every day, except Sundays for 40 days. But I have a few people who are doing the challenge with me, but they cannot commit to doing 160 reps every single day, so they're just doing fewer reps. So if you want to join the challenge, but it seems daunting to do this many reps or to do these many days, just do it in a way that works for you. So if you cannot commit to doing 40 reps of these 4 exercises every day, can you commit to doing 30 reps of everything every day, or 20, or 15, or 10? If you can't commit to doing all 40 days of the challenge, can you commit to doing the first 20 days or the final 20 days? If you can't commit to working out 6 days a week, because we're working out every Monday through Saturday, maybe you could commit to working out 3 days a week. You could do Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays of every week, or you could do Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays of every week. So it's important to be realistic with yourself about your current level of fitness, about whatever time constraints you may have. So be realistic about to what degree you are capable of participating, and then participate to that degree, okay? But it's really important that you are realistic, because if you set a goal that is too far out of reach, that's a recipe for failure, and failing is really discouraging. And if you become discouraged and you feel like you failed at the challenge, then you're just gonna drop out, and that's not productive, okay? At no point during this challenge do I ever want you to feel discouraged. I want the opposite. I want you every step of the way during this challenge to feel encouraged. And a really important step that you can take to make sure that you are feeling encouraged is to set realistic goals for yourself so that you can actually meet them. Because when you meet your goals, that's what's going to help you feel encouraged. And when you feel encouraged, that is what's going to help motivate you to continue and to keep getting dressed and getting out here and getting the reps done every day, so that you can build this habit of daily exercise and meet whatever other goals you might have, whether you're trying to get in shape or lose weight. All right, so remember that I am here to help. So save the playlist, watch the day one video, and then if you have any questions, ask me. And when you have decided to what degree you are able to participate and you're ready to begin the challenge, you can jump in today, you can jump in on any other day, or you can start on day one and do the whole 40-day challenge with me, or do the first half, or whatever you're doing. Just remember that if you want to start with day one, you're going to start with your day one workout on a Wednesday, and then just follow along with the playlist, all right? You don't have to go in order through the playlist if you don't want to. Again, the only important thing is just that you're getting your reps done every day. So as long as you are completing your 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day, or whatever number, however many reps of those exercises you're doing for your challenge, as long as you're getting your reps done every day, you have met your requirement to participate in the challenge, all right? So it doesn't matter which workout you do. It doesn't matter if it's even off of this playlist or some other workout that just happens to contain 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, and 40 push-ups. All right, and it doesn't, you can write your own workout if you want. You can make up a workout for yourself, but it doesn't even matter if you actually do a structured workout. If you're a beginner, it might still be too difficult for you to do all of your reps at once. So you can spread out your reps randomly throughout the day if you want. That's absolutely fine. You could get up in the morning, first thing, do 10 squats, 10 lunges, 10 reps of any ab exercise you want, and 10 push-ups. It can be any variation of those 4 exercises you want to do. And then you can just repeat that 3 more times throughout the day. So you could do it again after lunch, you could do it again after you get home from work, and once more before bed. And there's your 160 reps. All right, so any way you want to get your reps done is absolutely fine. And remember that I am here to help. So ask questions if you have them. So if you're not a beginner, if you are more advanced, you're really strong, you're in really good shape, then the workouts that we're doing this year for the challenge are not going to be very difficult for you. They're probably not going to challenge you very much. So if you want to do the challenge, but you want the workouts to actually challenge you, then I'm going to recommend, if you're more advanced, that you follow along with the playlist that I made last year for the challenge. So last year was my 5th year in a row doing the challenge. It was the exact same challenge. We were doing at least 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day every single day except Sundays for 40 days. But the workouts we were doing last year were much more intense. They were a lot more difficult. They were generally much longer because we were frequently doing more than just those 160 reps. And we were usually doing more advanced versions of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. With most of the workouts, we were incorporating weight, and generally I was including about 20 minutes or so of moderate paced cardio right in the workout. So if that sounds like something that is more your speed, then I'm going to recommend that you follow along with last year's playlist, and I will link that playlist up here in the iCard. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video, and I will link it at the very end of the video as well. So make sure to save last year's playlist if you're more advanced, but save this year's playlist as well, because even if you're in great shape and you're super strong and you are capable of doing the more difficult workouts that we did last year, the workouts we're doing this year are still great workouts, and they are a great option to have. If you're in really good shape, you are going to be able to complete most of the workouts that we're doing this year for the challenge in under 10 minutes. So on days where you're really strapped for time and you have no time to get your workout done, but you still want to stick with the challenge and get your reps in somehow, you can choose one of the workouts that we're doing this year, any of the workouts off this playlist, most of the workouts off this playlist, and you'll be able to get them done in less than 10 minutes. All right, so that's a really great option to have. And also, because I am going out of my way to make sure that the challenge is accessible for beginners this year, that means that I'm really focusing on body weight exercises. I'm trying my best not to use any fitness equipment whatsoever, because I'm assuming that if you're an absolute beginner, you don't have access to fitness equipment. You don't own dumbbells or a kettlebell or a sandbag or anything like that. So if you are traveling, let's say, and you're staying at a hotel or an Airbnb and you don't have access to equipment, then one of these short little body weight workouts that we're doing this year is gonna be perfect, all right? Or if you just wanna take your workout to the beach today or the park or the hiking trail or something like that, and you don't feel like lugging dumbbells or a kettlebell or a big heavy sandbag with you, then one of these workouts is perfect for that as well. Or you can use one of these short body weight workouts as a warm-up, either for a more intense workout that you want to do at the gym or something, or if you're going for a long hike or bike ride or a run today, you can absolutely just get your reps done in 10 minutes. Use one of these short little body weight workouts as a warm-up for your run or your hike or whatever you're doing today. All right, so definitely make sure that you save both playlists if you're more advanced, and then you can just kind of bounce back and forth between the two playlists or bounce around within one playlist or the other. Again, it doesn't matter on any given day which workout you do. I'm presenting the challenge this way, where the workouts are labeled. They're numbered, days 1 through day 40, days 1 through 40. And that's how I'm doing it. And of course you can do it that way if you want, that's great. But just remember that it's so easy to customize the challenge. Do it in whatever way works for you. So if you open up the playlist and the workout I'm doing on any given day, you don't really care for it, or it's not gonna work for you for whatever reason, first of all, you can just choose any other workout off either of the playlists and do that one instead. So if you don't like the workout we're doing today, but there was a previous one that we did this year, or one of the workouts we did last year that you loved, just repeat that one. That's fine. All right, or if you like the workout I'm doing today, but there's one exercise that's just not gonna work for you, let's say you like the workout and you like the format and you wanna work out along with the video, but you don't like the squat variation I'm doing that day, then just swap it out with any squat variation that you do like or that works for you, okay? So it's really, really easy to customize the challenge, again, as long as you're getting your reps done. It doesn't matter how you do them. It doesn't matter when you do them. It doesn't matter which workout you choose. It doesn't matter which playlist you're using. It doesn't even matter if you do a structured workout at all. You can spread out your reps throughout the day. Any way you want to get your reps done is fine. All right, so that's the challenge. That's how it works. You have your two playlists to choose from, and you have me here to help if you need any support or guidance or encouragement, or if you have questions. All right, so let's go ahead and get into what we are doing for today's workout. I'm going to go in order. When I say that we're going in order, I mean we are spelling out the word slap. So that means that our circuit is going to be squats, then lunges, then abs, then push-ups. All right, so starting with S for squats. I'm doing dynamic squats today. I think we've done these once before this year. I don't remember for sure, but it's a super simple squat variation. It's a little bit challenging, so if you're a super duper beginner, or if you have bad knees and you can't be jumping, then don't worry. I'm going to be providing impact-free modifications so that you don't have to be jumping around, okay? But I'm going to be jumping with my squat. I'm going to be jumping my feet apart as I sink into the squat and then jumping them back together on the way up. So before we get to that, let's just go over your proper form for your squats. So remember that with squats, the first thing you want to think about is trying to tuck your shoulder blades into your back pockets. All right, so that means your shoulders are going to be back, like you're pinching your shoulder blades together, and down, meaning away from your ears, okay? So if you are like me and your shoulders are constantly up here, you want to make sure that they're down, away from your ears, and back. It's like you're pinching your shoulder blades together. So if you imagine trying to tuck your shoulder blades into your back pockets, that's going to help you keep your shoulders back and down, and it's also going to help you keep your chest lifted nice and high. And that's what we want. We want to maintain this sensation of your chest being lifted throughout the entire course of the exercise, okay? And then the next thing I want you to think about is really tightening up your abs as though someone's about to come along and punch you in the stomach as hard as they can, and you are bracing for that impact. So really, really make sure your abs are super strong and tight. And then before you think about squatting, because if you think about your squat as just going straight down, what's going to tend to happen is that your knees are going to end up over your toes, and that's really not the movement. It's also a really good way to hurt your knees. So instead, before you think about squatting, I actually wanted you to think about hinging at the hips. So it is like you're trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty. Really stick that booty out. Like honestly try to touch that wall behind you with your booty. And now do you see what happened? Okay, so instead of squatting straight down where my knees are right over my toes, instead I'm hinging at the hips. So I'm pushing that booty back, like I'm trying to touch the wall behind me with my booty, and now look where my knees are. Okay, all of my weight is now over my heels, and I can actually pick up my toes. And remember at the same time that you want to maintain that sensation of your chest being lifted. So at the same time that I'm trying to touch the wall behind me with my booty, thinking about trying to touch the wall in front of me with my chest, so that my spine is nice and elongated. And the reason for that is that you want to make sure that your back is flat and that your weight is in your heels. Okay? That's your squats mantra. Remember that. Flat back, weight in the heels. Remember that. Commit that to memory, okay? Because you're going to need it for whatever squat variation you're doing and whatever lunge variation you're doing. You're always going to want to start by tucking your shoulder blades into your back pockets, shoulders back and down, chest lifted high, abs tight, and you always want to be pushing your booty back. You always want your back flat and the weight in your heels. So remember that for your squats and your lunges. And then from this position is where you can go ahead and sink down into your squat. And then to stand, you're just going to press your heels into the ground to straighten your legs. And I mean really, really press your heels into the ground as though you are trying to push the ground away from you with your heels, so that you really activate all of the muscles from your feet through your legs, your quads especially, your glutes, and of course your abs are already nice and strong and tight and engaged. So do your best to see if you can at least get your thighs so that they are parallel to the ground. Now you might not be there yet, and that's fine. All right, so your goal is to get your thighs parallel to the ground, but it's really important to make sure that you're always working to your own level. Do not push your body into doing something it's not ready to do. So that's your goal, getting your thighs parallel to the ground, but it may not be a goal that you reach today or tomorrow or even by the end of the challenge or even by the end of the summer, but it's what you're working towards. So you want to work towards that goal, but without sacrificing your objective. Your objective is keeping your back flat, keeping the weight in your heels. All right, so as long as you're not rounding your back, as long as you're tucking your shoulder blades into your back pockets, keeping that chest lifted high, keeping your abs tight, keeping your weight in your heels so that your back stays flat, that's what's important. So it doesn't matter if you're only able to sink down this deep into the squat, that's fine. Be where you are. But what you're working towards, maybe today, maybe, next week, eventually, what you're working towards is getting your thighs parallel to the ground, okay? And you can go lower than that if you want, but for now, let's just make that our goal, all right? So let's put it all together. Shoulders back and down, chest lifted high, abs are tight. You're gonna hinge at the hips, so push that booty back. Remember to keep your chest lifted nice and high. Back stays flat, weight stays in the heels as you sink down into that squat, and then you're going to press the ground away with your heels to stand. So that is just your basic air squat. So you can just do air squats if you want, that's fine. Remember, you can do any squat variation you want. If you're a super duper beginner and you need to hold on to something for support, that's fine. Just make sure that whatever you're holding onto for support can hold your entire body weight. Even if you're just lightly touching it, let's say you're using a chair or a bar stool or something like that, even if you're just lightly touching it just to help you balance and just so that you have that added sense of security and stability. In the event that you lose your balance and you need to really lean on your chair or your stool or whatever you're using, then it's really important that it's capable of supporting your entire body weight, okay? So even if you're not planning on putting all of your body weight on it, make sure that if you need to, whatever you're using for support is capable of supporting your entire body weight, okay? You also want to make sure that whatever you're using is sturdy, meaning that it is good quality and it's well made and it's in good condition. Nothing that's going to collapse or break when you put weight on it or fold up when you put weight on it. So don't use a folding chair or anything like that. You want to make sure that it's sturdy enough to support you and it's not going to break. And you want to make sure that it is stable. So for example, when I'm working out in my living room, I have wood floors, and if I need to use a chair, I grab one of my dining room chairs, which are also wood, so it's really easy for that wood chair to slide along the wood floor. So what I do is I always place my chair on top of my yoga mat or an exercise mat so that it stays put. So you want to make sure that your chair or your stool or whatever you're using can't slide from underneath you when you put weight on it. All right, but as long as your elevated surface is strong enough to support your entire body weight, sturdy enough that it will not collapse or break or fold up when you put weight on it, and stable so that it can't slide from underneath you, then any number of elevated surfaces will work. So a chair or a stool can work. The arm of your couch, your dining room table, your kitchen counter. All right, so if you need to hold on to something for support, that's fine. And remember that also, if that's still too difficult, you can squat into a chair or onto a chair. All right, and that is a modification that I have demonstrated and explained numerous times already in this challenge. I'm not going to go over it today, so if you need to see that, please let me know, okay? Remember, always ask questions if you have them, and always, if you need any further help with beginner modifications beyond what I'm providing in the video, I am right here to help, so please just ask, all right? But that's a basic air squat, and that is the technique for any squat variation that you plan on doing. Back flat, weight in the heels, okay? So as I mentioned, I'm going to be doing dynamic squats, and that means that I'm going to start with my feet together. And as I sink down into my squat, I'm going to jump my feet wide apart, all right? And then I like to come down and tap the ground in front of me, but remember not to round your back. So if you're opting for this squat variation, you're gonna start with your feet together, jump your feet apart as you sink into the squat. But if you're only capable of coming down this low in the squat and you can't reach the ground, do not round your back just for the sake of touching the ground, okay? Work to your own level. So it always, with all of these exercises, if you need to shorten up your range of motion, that's fine. Don't sacrifice your objective. Flat back, weight in the heels. So if you can only reach the ground by rounding your back, then just come down halfway, maybe tap your knees or something instead, okay? The important thing is that you're keeping your back flat, keeping the weight in your heels. And then you're going to jump the feet back together as you stand. All right, so feet together, jump the feet wide apart as you sink into your squat. Tap the ground if you can do so with a flat back, and then press the heels into the ground and jump the feet back together as you stand. So that's 1, 2, 3. All right, that is my squat variation. If you don't want to just do air squats, but you can't jump, then you could do something like this instead. You could just do these, okay, here's what you can do. You can start with your feet together and just do like side to side squats. Okay, so instead of jumping your feet apart, you can just step and you'll alternate sides with each rep. So one foot will stay planted, you can step the other foot out to the side as you sink into your squat, and then bring the feet together. Alternating sides, so then you can step the other foot out as you squat, step the feet together. So that's 3, 4. All right, so that's similar to what I'm doing, but without the jumping. Remember, you can hold on to something for support if you need to. I think that's a decent beginner modification, or just an impact-free modification. If you have really bad knees, or even just cranky downstairs neighbors, or a sleeping baby, and you need something that's nice and quiet, and you don't want to be jumping around, that's a good impact-free modification. So you can do side-to-side squats if you can't jump or you don't want to jump. And yeah, that's my squat variation. So moving on to lunges. I call this exercise dragon lunges. Now, everyone else in the whole world calls them curtsy lunges. So if you know what a curtsy lunge is, that's what we're doing. But I'm stubborn, I've always called them dragon lunges, so that's what I'm going to call them today, because that's always what I call them. So if you imagine that you are standing in a box, the whole concept of this lunge variation is that you are reaching your foot towards the back corner of your box, okay? Alternating sides with each rep. So every time I lunge, I'm trying to reach either this back corner or this back corner of my box with my foot, okay? So the way it works is that this is going to be my standing leg. I'm going to pick up the other foot and I'm going to lunge behind me and diagonally across my body. So it's like I'm trying to reach this opposite back corner of my box with my lunging foot. Okay, and then from here you're going to bend both knees, sink down into your lunge, and then I'm going to step the foot back. Now I'm going to be adding a leg lift, but we'll get to that. If you're a beginner, you might just want to stay here and just do the dragon lunges with no leg lift, okay? So we're going to be alternating sides. So then with my next rep, this will be my standing leg. I'll pick up the opposite foot, and again, I'm going to lunge behind me and diagonally across my body so that I'm placing this foot down towards this back corner of my box. And then again, I'm going to bend both knees, sink into my lunge, then press my heel into the ground as I straighten my legs and step this foot forward again. All right, so if you are capable of tapping this back knee to the ground and you want to, that's great. All right, I always tap my back knee to the ground when I do my lunges. But again, work to your own level. So if you need to shorten up your range of motion, shorten up your range of motion. And I mean that in 2 ways. That applies to the lunge in 2 ways. The first way that you can shorten up your range of motion is with your step. So if you can't step back really far towards this corner, then just come here, okay? So you can shorten up your range of motion on the step itself. Instead of coming all the way here, you can step here. And number 2, you can shorten up your range of motion on the lunge itself. So if you can't lunge all the way down so that your back knee actually touches the ground, fine. Then just come here. Be where you are, okay? It's really important that you're working to your own level, listening to your body, being smart, being safe, okay? You have to make the decision that is best for you. So if you do want to tap your back knee to the ground and you're capable of doing so without straining yourself, without pushing your body into doing anything it's not ready to do, that's fine. Just remember that you want to make sure the movement is under control. You want the movement to be under control regardless, but especially if you're tapping that back knee to the ground, you don't want to bang your knee into the ground because it hurts. And it's really easy, especially as you fatigue, to kind of lose control of the movement a little bit, or to kind of lose your sense of spatial awareness and not realize how close to the ground your knee is. So just be aware of that, be careful. I don't want anyone getting hurt. So make sure that if you're going to tap that back knee to the ground, make extra sure that the movement is under control and you don't bang your knee into the ground, all right? But these are your beginner modifications. Number 1, shorten up the range of motion on your step back. Number 2, shorten up your range of motion on the lunge, so don't lunge as deep. Number 3, step the foot forward and return to your starting position without doing the leg lift that I haven't shown you yet, but I'm going to show you next. And number 4, hold on to a strong, sturdy, stable, elevated surface for support. Okay? So you can hold on to something for support, take a short step back, sink just a little bit into your lunge, step forward and put the foot down, alternating sides with each rep. Okay? Those are your beginner modifications. If you don't need anything for support, don't hold on to anything. And then if you want to add the leg lift, all we're going to do, instead of stepping the foot forward and placing it on the ground, returning to the starting position, before I do that, I'm going to lift my leg to the side so it will look like this. Dragon lunge, leg lift, then put the foot down. Repeat that on the other side. We're alternating sides with each rep. So now with this foot, I'm going to lunge behind me and diagonally across my body, bend both knees, sink down into the lunge, and now this back foot is going to come to the side. I'm lifting the leg straight to the side and then putting the foot down. I'm not kicking. You can kick if you want to. There's nothing wrong with adding a kick. It's just not what I'm doing today. I am just lifting the leg. So my leg is staying more or less straight. I have a soft bend to my knee. I'm not actively trying to straighten my leg all the way. I'm not locking out the knee. So it's fine to have a soft bend to your knee, but I'm not specifically bending the knee and doing a kick, okay? I'm just lifting the leg to the side, keeping it more or less straight, all right? You can do a kick if you want, you can do a leg lift, you can do nothing, whatever works for you. But let's put a couple of reps together so you see how it's going to look on the day. So starting with this as my standing leg, I'm going to pick up the other foot, lunge diagonally and across my body, lift the leg, put the foot down, other side. Dragon lunge, leg lift, that's 2. Lunge, lift the leg, other side, lunge, and lift the leg, that's 4. All right, so that is my lunge variation. You have your beginner modifications, but if this lunge variation still isn't working for you, remember that you can do any lunge variation you want. So it doesn't have to be these dragon lunges or curtsy lunges. You can do side lunges, forward lunges, reverse lunges, any variation of lunge that you want to do, all right? So if you need help coming up with a lunge variation that you can do, I am right here to help. So please just ask. So moving on to A for abs, I am doing, again, today I'm doing one of those exercises that I call one thing, but I think everyone else calls something else. So I've always called these Pikes, and we have done these. I'm 99% sure that we've done these at some point already this year during the challenge. So if you've been following since day 1, I think you've seen these already, pretty sure. Everyone else calls these jackknives. So even if you're not following the challenge, if you know what jackknives are, that's what we're doing for abs. So before I demonstrate that exercise, let me just remind you that if you are unable to get down onto the mat for any reason, that there are several different standing ab exercises that you can do. All right, so the main one that I go over with you, pretty much every day since day 1 is simply you can place your hand on the wall for support, or you can hold on to your strong, sturdy, stable, elevated surface that you used to support you for the squats and the lunges, okay? So like a chair or a bar stool or the arm of your couch or something like that. So hold on to something for support if you need to, and then with this outside leg, you're just going to extend the leg to the side and place your toes on the ground. You're going to take this hand, bend the elbow, place your hand behind your head, and then you're just going to lift your leg, bend the knee, and as you do that, you're going to crunch and bring your elbow down towards your knee, okay? Touch your knee with your elbow if you can, but again, work to your own level. So if you can't quite make them touch, you can just come here, that's fine. Again, work to your own level, but that's what you're going for. That's what you're working towards, is actually touching your elbow to your knee. You just wanna make sure you feel that crunch in your oblique, okay? So there are other standing ab exercises as well. If you're getting tired of this one, or if this isn't gonna work for you or whatever, there's tons of other options for standing abs. So I'm not gonna go through like all of the standing ab exercises today, but again, if you need help coming up with an ab exercise that you can do that does not involve you getting down on the mat, I am right here to help, so please just ask. But if you are capable of getting down on the mat, we are going to be doing pikes. So coming down onto your mat, you're gonna come all the way down on your back with your legs extended and your arms up overhead like this. So my arms are extended up overhead, my legs are straight. And now I'm just going to lift my legs, keeping them more or less straight, and I'm going to lift my arms at the same time. So the goal is that your body is going to kind of come together like a V, like this, okay? So the goal is to lift your legs and your arms at the same time. So it's going to look something like this. Okay, so I'm just kind of tapping my ankles, I guess, with my fingertips at the top of the movement. And then lowering the arms and the legs at the same time as well, with control. Okay, so that's it, that's the exercise. It's a super simple exercise, but it's really difficult. So you have, it's a ladybug, hi ladybug. You have a couple of options. So if it's too difficult to lift your arms and your legs simultaneously, you can do it one at a time. You can break up the movement so that you're first lifting your legs and then lifting your torso. Come up and tap the toes and then lower the legs. Okay, so it's essentially the same exercise, but instead of lifting your arms and legs at the same time and lowering them at the same time, you're isolating those movements. So lift the legs, touch the toes, then lower your arms down, lower your legs down. Leg lift, toe touch. All right, so that's one option. It's still pretty difficult, but it's a lot easier than the pikes or the jackknives. Another option is to just do one or the other, either just leg lifts or just toe touches, okay? So if you want to just do the leg lifts, then instead of having your arms up overhead, when I do leg lifts, I always find it much more comfortable to just place my hands right underneath my booty. So whatever's comfortable for you, but from here you can just lift and lower the legs, and that's fine. This is plenty difficult, trust me. So that's another option, all right? Just keeping your legs more or less straight, but of course you can bend them if you want to. You can absolutely do the same thing with your knees bent. Another great exercise, and it really targets your lower abs. Just make sure that you're pressing your low back into the mat, okay? So if you lie here completely relaxed, then there's going to be an arch in your low back right here. Okay, you see how I can put my hand right underneath my back, underneath the arch of my back. So you want to get rid of that so that we target our abs. So the way you do that is to tilt your pelvis forward so that you're pressing your low back into the mat. See, now I cannot get my hand underneath there. My entire low back is in contact with the mat. Okay, so if you're doing something like that, make sure you take that additional step of consciously tilting your pelvis this way, pressing your low back into the mat so that your abs stay super engaged, okay? It's actually a really difficult exercise, so that's another option. But having the legs straight and doing leg lifts that way is another option. Or you could lift the legs and keep them here and just do the toe touches, okay? So 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, so you can do the pikes the way I'm doing them, lifting arms and legs at the same time and lowering them at the same time. Or you can break it up, lift the legs first, then lift the arms, lower the legs. Or you can just lift and lower the legs. Or you can keep the legs elevated and just do toe touches. All right, so there are several different options, and if none of those are going to work for you, remember that any ab exercise you want to do is fine. So it can be any sit-up variation, any crunch variation, any ab exercise at all. All right, so just choose whatever works for you. Just make sure that if you're doing something like this, that again, the movement is under control. So when you are lowering your legs, you want to make sure they're not just dropping, okay? That's gravity, that's not an exercise. We want to resist that, okay? Resistance. That's how we get stronger, resistance. So instead of just allowing gravity to take over and just letting your legs drop, you want to make sure that the movement is super under control. You don't have to go this slowly, obviously, but you want the movement to be that under control, that controlled, okay? So just make sure whether you're just doing the leg lifts or whether you're doing the pikes, that the movement is always under control, okay? And that is my ab exercise. So last but not least is push-ups. And I am doing burpees today. There are, of course, a million different burpee variations. There's not really one set definition of what a burpee is. But when I do this burpee variation that I'm doing today, I just call it a burpee. Any other burpee variation has a modifier, right? Like I'll do like a competition burpee or, you know, what a knee crunch burpee. So any other burpee variation I do has a modifier. When I just say burpees, this is what I'm talking about, okay? So I'm just going to, this is the same as the bonus burpee that we do after every workout. So very simple exercise. It just means that you're starting from a standing position, and then you're going to place your hands down in front of you, jump or step your feet back so that you are in a plank position, and then do your push-up. We do have to include the push-up because this is our push-up variation for today. Then jump or step the feet back in and jump up. So when I say burpee, that's what I mean. All right, hands down, jump the feet back, push up, jump the feet in, and jump up, okay? So that's my push-up variation today. You can step your feet out and in, that's fine. So place the hands down, step the feet out instead of jumping them. You can, of course, put your knees down for the push-up, then come back up into a plank position, step the feet in instead of jumping. And if you can't jump up, you can come up onto your toes, or you can just stand, okay? So impact-free modification would look like this. Hands down, step the feet back. Knees down for the push-up, or you can do the push-up from your toes if you want. Step the feet in, stand, come up onto your toes if you can. All right, so if getting up and down is too much, remember that any push-up variation you want to do is fine, so you don't have to do burpees. You can choose another push-up variation where you're not up and down and up and down. That's the whole thing. That's what a burpee is. It means that you're starting from a standing position, getting down on the floor or the ground to do something, and then getting back up somehow. That's basically like what a burpee is. So if you don't want to do burpees, any push-up variation is fine. But I'm going to be doing burpees, okay? So hands down, jump or step the feet back, push up, jump or step the feet in, and jump up. That's my push-up variation for today. So before we move on, let's just go over our proper form for push-ups. So with squats and lunges, we had our two main bullet points, right? Flat back, weight in the heels. So for your push-ups, I'm going to give you 3 bullet points. The first one, starting at the top and going down, okay? So the first thing is head needs to be in line with the spine. So if you imagine that you're standing with your back up against the wall and you're just lightly pressing the back of your head into the wall, that is where you want your head to be. Just perfectly up and down, perfectly in line with your spine, all right? So when you're here in your plank position, what that means is that you don't want to allow your head to drop down towards the mat like this, and that's very common. Now, you do not need to overcorrect by hyperextending your neck and like jutting your chin out. You just want your head in line with your spine. So again, it's like you're standing up against the wall, pressing your head into the back of the wall. You want to stay right there. Keep that position when you're in your plank, all right? So that's your first bullet point, head in line with the spine. And you want to make sure, once you found that position, that your head stays still the whole time. It's very common that people kind of bob their head up and down while they're doing the push-ups. So you want your head in line with the spine and you want it to stay still, okay? Once you found that position, nothing moves, all right? So your second bullet point, shoulders away from the ears. It's another very common mistake that when people do push-ups, they're going to tend to kind of sink into their shoulders like this, all right? So instead, what you want to do is spread out all 10 fingers so that your weight is as evenly distributed as possible. Make sure your hands are directly underneath your shoulders. And then what you want to do is actively press the ground away from you. Did you see what happened? So we were here. Look where my shoulders are, kind of hunched up by my ears. But when I press into the mat, like I'm actively trying to press the ground away from me, now look where my shoulders are. I'm up nice and high in my plank position. I'm pushing myself up as high as I can so that my shoulders are away from my ears. And your third bullet point, flat back, just like with our squats and with our lunges. But when we're squatting and lunging, when we say a flat back, what we're trying to avoid is a rounded back, okay? So we tuck the shoulder blades into the back pockets, push the booty back, lift that chest high, so that we're going from this to this. But when you're doing your push-ups, it's the opposite of that you're trying to avoid. You're trying to avoid an arched back. And that happens very commonly when people allow their hips or their belly to kind of droop down towards the mat. That causes an arch in your back, and we want a flat back, okay? So if you're here and you find that you're allowing your hips or your belly to kind of droop down towards the mat like this, do you see how that's causing an arch in my back? We don't want an arched back, we want a flat back. So the way to fix this is to, again, engage your ab muscles. It's like someone's about to punch you in the stomach, same way we did for our squats and our lunges, and you are bracing yourself for that impact. So your abs should be super tight and engaged, all right? So then what you're going to do is use your ab muscles to lift your hips high and keep them lifted high so that your back is flat. Your shoulders are away from your ears, head is in line with your spine, so that what we've done is we've created this perfectly straight line from the heels all the way to the shoulders, and really from the heels all the way to the top of the head, okay? So that straight line is what we're after, and that's what those bullet points are about. Head in line with the spine, shoulders away from the ears, flat back, okay? So once you have found that perfect plank position, nothing moves. It's really important that you think of your body, so this is your body, right, from your heels to the tip of your head, that you think of your body as literally a plank of wood, and all you're doing is lowering that plank of wood down to the ground and then pressing it back up. But this from your heels to the tip of your head should not move, okay? So the goal, again, we're going to talk about goals versus objectives. So your goal is to lower your chest all the way down so that it actually touches the mat. But again, you may not be there today. You may not be able to reach that goal today. You may not reach it by the end of the challenge. You may not reach it by the end of the summer, okay? But that's what you're working towards. Your objective is to keep that straight line from your heels to your shoulders and never break that straight line. Never allow your back to arch. Never allow your hips or your belly to droop down towards the mat. Never allow yourself to be sinking into your shoulders. Never allow your head to bob down and tap the mat with your forehead, okay? So the objective is what's important. So if you are unable to lower your chest all the way down to the mat, that's fine. It's what you're working towards, but if you're not there today, that's fine. you have two options. If you are unable to lower your chest all the way down to the mat without breaking that straight line from your heels to your shoulders, option number one, put your knees down and start doing knee push-ups. And option number two is to simply shorten up your range of motion. So if you can only get your chest this close to the mat without lowering your hips or your belly down to the mat, or without dropping your forehead down to the mat, then that's fine. Just shorten up your range of motion. Remember, the important thing is that you don't break that straight line from your heels to your shoulders. So if you can only come down this far without breaking that line, that's fine. Then you're gonna stop here as soon as you've got your chest as close to the mat as you can, and then you're going to press the ground away from you and push yourself back up and return to your starting position, and that's your push-up. And if you're doing push-ups from your knees, it's the exact same thing. Literally the only difference is that your knees are on the mat. All right, so spread out all 10 fingers. Place your hands directly underneath your shoulders. Step your feet back so that you're in a plank position. And now right here, just bend your knees and put your knees down on the mat. So that now, instead of your body being in one straight line from your heels to your shoulders, that straight line is from your knees to your shoulders. But from there, everything else is the same. So check off your bullet points. Number one, make sure your head is in line with your spine and it's not dropping like this. Make sure you're not overcorrecting by hyperextending your neck. Your head is in line with your spine. Make sure you're not sinking down into your shoulders. Make sure your fingers are spread out and you're pressing the ground away from you so that your shoulders are away from your ears. And make sure your back is flat. So you are not allowing your hips or your belly to droop down towards the mat like this, causing an arch in your back. You're tightening up your abs, using your ab muscles to lift your hips nice and high and keep them lifted high. And then once you found this straight line from your knees to your shoulders, nothing moves. So you're going to bend your elbows and lower your chest as close to the mat as you can. Then push yourself back up. And if you are not able to get your chest all the way down to the mat, it's important that you're not compensating for that by lowering your hips or your belly down to the mat. Don't break that straight line from your heels to your shoulders, okay? So don't compensate for the fact that you're unable to get your chest all the way down by lowering your forehead down to the mat. Your head is in line with your spine and it stays still, okay? So if you can't get your chest all the way down, just shorten up your range of motion. The important thing is that you're maintaining that straight line from your knees to your shoulders. So if you can only come down this far, that's fine. Stop here, press the mat away, push yourself back up, and that's your push-up. Okay, so make sure that whatever push-up variation you're choosing, you're minding your form, okay? Your bullet points are head in line with the spine and make sure it stays still, shoulders away from the ears, so remember to press the ground away from you, and flat back. So make sure those abs are tight, make sure you're using your ab muscles to lift your hips high and keep them high, and make sure that you maintain that straight line, either from your knees to your shoulders or from your heels to your shoulders the entire time. It's a moving plank, that's all it is, okay? So you're lowering your chest as close to the mat as you can and then pushing yourself back up, but the rest of you does not move, okay? It's only your elbows that are moving, basically. All right, so any push-up variation you wanna do is fine, just make sure you're minding your form. And again, if you have bad knees or you can't get down on the mat, first of all, remember that when you elevate your hands for the push-ups, it's going to make the push-ups a bit easier. So if you want, you can grab, if it's too difficult to do your knee push-ups with your hands on the ground or on the mat like this, you can elevate your hands. So you can place your hands on a strong, sturdy, stable, elevated surface. So if you have your strong, sturdy chair, you can place it right here on your mat and do your knee push-ups with your hands on the chair. And it's going to be much easier Just remember, the farther away from the chair you place your knees, the more difficult the push-up. And as you inch your knees closer to the chair and your body is more upright, the easier the push-up will become. However, I also want to warn you that the closer into the chair you inch your knees and the more upright your body is, that means that because of gravity, that more of your weight is on your knees. So it's more pressure on your knees. So it makes the push-up itself easier by inching your knees close to the chair, but it also makes it more painful for your knees. So if you have the upper body strength and the core strength to do your push-ups that way, but the reason you can't do it is because it hurts your knees, try doubling up your mat a couple of times, or even grabbing like a throw pillow or a seat cushion or something like that, just so that you have a little bit of protection for your knees. And that might be the solution. But if that's still not gonna work for you, if it's too difficult to get down onto the mat, or it's just too taxing for your knees to do any kind of knee push-up, remember that you have standing push-up variations as well. All right, so again, you could use a strong, sturdy, stable chair, or you could use the arm of your couch, maybe your dining room table. Kitchen counter works great for this, because your kitchen counter is super strong and sturdy and stable. It's not going anywhere, right? So again, just take precautions that whatever you're using to place your hands on, whatever you're using for your elevated surface, is strong enough to support your weight, sturdy enough that it will not collapse or break or fold up on you when you put weight on it, and stable so that it cannot slide from underneath you. But kitchen countertop works great. You can do push-ups from a standing position with your hands elevated on a chair or the arm of your couch or your dining room table or your kitchen counter. Remember that the higher you elevate your hands, the easier your push-up becomes, because the higher you elevate your hands, the more upright your body is. So that means that you are having to support less of your own body weight. So you really can even just do your push-ups from a completely standing position by placing your hands on the wall. So if you need to see any of these standing push-up variations demonstrated and explained, please ask, because I don't want you getting down on the mat if it's too difficult for you or if it hurts your knees, and I don't want you skipping your push-ups. So you can absolutely do push-ups from a standing position. There's several ways to do it. We've gone over these modifications at previous points during the challenge, but if this is the first workout that you're seeing of this challenge and you're just joining today, or if maybe you just missed those days where we went over the standing push-up modifications and you need to see them, I am right here to help. So please just ask, okay? Because any push-up variation you want to do is fine. So again, I am doing burpees. For my push-up variation, you can do the burpees by jumping your feet into a plank position or stepping, and you can do the push-up from your toes or from your knees. If you need to eliminate the jump, you can just stand, or you can come up onto your toes and do a calf raise. All right, so make the decision that's best for you. If you want to do a burpee variation, great. Just make sure you include a push-up, because this is our push-up component. And if you don't want to do burpees, any push-up variation you want to do is fine. All right, so that's it. That's all 4 exercises. And now finally, I get to go over the format. I'm so excited, you guys, because this is day 36. This is like one of my favorite days of the whole challenge, because today, are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? I have visual aids. I'm so excited. All right, so you guys, I made this. I haven't revealed it yet. I'm gonna reveal it in just a second. I'm so ridiculously proud of this. I made this visual aid in year 1 of the challenge, so 2020. Day 36, I made this visual aid to help me to explain the format of today's workout with you. And I've held on to it since then. It lives in my closet, and I pull it out once a year on day 36 of the slap challenge so that I can explain the format of this workout to you. So are you ready? Here we go. Here we go. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. Okay, so let me make sure you can see it. So this is how it works, all right? So these are the exercises. So SLAP, obviously this represents our squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. So you already know the variations of these 4 exercises that we're doing. We're doing dynamic squats, we're doing dragon lunges or curtsy lunges, we're doing pikes for our ab exercise, and we're doing burpees for our push-up variation, all right? that's what I'm doing, but remember, you can do any version of these 4 exercises you want, all right? And then we're doing 4 rounds, okay? So rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's put it together. Round 1, we're gonna start with round 1, okay? So we're going in order. We're always gonna start with squats. So starting with squats, this means we're going to do 40 reps of squats in round 1. Then we're moving on to lunges, working our way through the circuit. So round 1, we're doing 30 lunges, okay? Then we'll move on to abs, 20 reps of abs, and then we'll finish round 1 with push-ups, 10 reps of push-ups, okay? So that's easy, 40, 30, 20, 10, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then for rounds 2 through 4, after we complete round 1, from then on, we're just doing sets of 10. So all you need to remember is round 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, okay? Then after round 1 is done, we're moving on to just sets of 10. For the rest of the workout, we're just doing sets of 10. So round 2, so always starting at the beginning of the circuit with squats, but we've already completed all 40 reps of squats. So that means that for round 2, we can skip squats and move right on to lunges, all right? So lunges, round 2, 10 reps. It's always 10 reps from here on out, okay? Then we'll move on to abs. So for round 2, we're doing 10 reps of abs, and then push-ups, 10 reps, all right? So that's round 2. Moving on to round 3. So starting with squats, but again, we've already completed all 40 squats, so we could skip squats and move on to lunges. But we completed 30 lunges in round 1, 10 lunges in round 2, so that means that we've already completed all 40 reps of lunges. So that means that for round 3, we can skip lunges and move on to abs. So sets of 10 from here on out. So for round 3, we're doing 10 reps of our ab exercise, and then finishing up our circuit with push-ups, 10 reps. That's round 3. So now for our final round, starting with squats, but we completed all 40 squats already in round 1. So moving on to lunges, we've completed all 40 lunges. We did 30 reps of lunges in round 1, 10 reps in round 2. So again, in round 4, we can skip our lunges. So moving on to abs, we did 20 reps of abs in round 1, and then 10 reps in round 2, 10 reps in round 3. So that's 20, 30, 40. That means that abs are done. So again, in round 4, we can skip abs and move right on to our final exercise, which is push-ups. So 10 push-ups, and that means we did 10 push-ups in round 1, 10 reps in round 2, 10 reps in round 3, 10 reps in round 4, and that's our 40th push-up, and that's it. All right? So if you guys only knew how proud I am of this thing. And then after today, it's gonna get tucked away in my closet again for another year, but isn't it beautiful? All right, so take a screenshot, memorialize this moment, make this your new wallpaper, all right? And that's it. That is the format for today's workout. So it's difficult to explain, but that's why I have the visual aid. So I think that should all be pretty clear, but remember that I always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video. And of course, I'm going to do the entire workout right along with you. So watch me do it, read the instructions, but then of course, as always, if anything is unclear about the format, if it's confusing, if you have questions about how the exercises fit together, or if that format is not working for you and you need help coming up with a different format that's more manageable, if you have questions about the exercises that we are doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with beginner modifications beyond what I have already provided, I am right here to help. So please just ask. It's really important that you understand the movement, you understand the exercises and how to do them correctly before you begin the workout, so that you reduce your risk of injury, and also just so that you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. And you guys know it's also incredibly important to me that all of my workouts are accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me, and I am always here to help facilitate that, and especially so for this challenge this year. So do not hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help or if anything is unclear. And then just one final reminder before we begin the workout, I want you to make sure that you are working at your own pace, especially if you're working out along with the video, because I don't want you racing to keep up with me. It's really important that you're going at your own pace and that you're minding your form. So if you are in decent shape, it's entirely likely that you will be faster than I am, and that's great. Be as fast as you want, just as long as you're not sacrificing your form to get there. So again, it's goals versus objectives. When I do these timed workouts, I like to set a time goal. So I like to say, well, I want to try to finish this workout in 20 minutes or 15 minutes or 10 minutes. And that's my goal. And I want to push myself as hard as I can to meet that goal, but not at the expense of my objective. My objective is minding my form. Okay, as important as it is to understand how to do the exercises with the correct form, it is equally as important that you are applying that knowledge while you're doing the workout and actually doing the exercises with the correct form so that you reduce your risk of injury and maximize the benefit of each exercise. All right, so make sure that you're never sacrificing your form for speed. If you're faster than I am, great. If you're slower than I am, great, phenomenal. Because how would you even know that you're slower than I am unless you're out here doing the reps, okay? So don't worry about how fast or slow you are, just go at your own pace. The important thing is that you're meeting that objective of minding your form, okay? So make sure you're paying attention to your form. If you're just racing through the exercises because you have this time goal, and you want to meet your time goal and you're prioritizing that above your form and you're getting sloppy, you need to slow down, okay? I don't want anyone getting hurt. So if you're faster than I am without sacrificing your form, great. But if your form is getting sloppy, either because you're just racing through the exercises as fast as you can because you're trying to just get a great score and say you finished really, really fast, or because you're racing to keep up with me, slow down. If you fall behind because you're either working at a slower pace than I am or because you find that you need to pause and take rest breaks, fine, pause the video. All right, come back when you're ready. I'm not going anywhere. I will be here and we can finish the workout together when you're ready. Now, I do want you to challenge yourself. If you have to pause the video and rest, that's fine. I want you to challenge yourself though to keep your rest breaks as short as you can. That being said, if you do need to take rest breaks, they should be as long as you need, okay? So you have to make that decision for yourself. You have to make the decision that's best for you. You should only resume the workout when you feel that you have regained enough strength and you have enough stamina to continue with good form. Okay, so challenge yourself to keep the rest breaks short, but make sure that they're as long as you need. But please just make sure that you are going at your own pace and make sure you're minding your form. Do not sacrifice your form for speed. Please listen to your body. Do not push your body into doing anything it's not ready to do, and just do your best. All right, but be smart, be safe, make sure you're performing the exercises with the correct form, and make sure that you are working to your own level. All right, hopefully I have covered everything. If you're ready to go ahead and start the workout, grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If you don't have a mat, a towel may suffice. If you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything. But if you are going to be doing Pikes with me or some other sort of push-up or sit-up or crunch variation, then obviously you're going to be much more comfortable with something soft beneath you. And if you're doing knee push-ups, you're going to be more comfortable with something soft beneath you. If you need a little added protection for your knees, for your push-ups, then you might want to grab a throw pillow or a seat cushion or something like that. If you need to hold on to something for support, then go ahead and grab a strong, sturdy, stable, elevated surface for support, and then you can pause the video, go get dressed, and then meet me right back here. We're going to do a quick 5-minute warm up, and then we'll get our reps done together. All right, so as soon as you're ready, let's get started with our 5-minute warm up. So you're going to begin by just allowing your head to fall towards one shoulder. You're going to place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. So make sure you're not actively pulling your ear towards your shoulder. Your hand is just resting on top of your head, and you're just allowing gravity to do all the work of gently stretching the other side of your neck. Now we're gonna switch sides, so let go with your hand. You're gonna allow your head to fall towards the opposite shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. Don't let them creep up. Make sure these shoulders stay away from your ears. And now we're gonna do some head rolls. So you're going to start by allowing your chin to fall to your chest and then towards the other shoulder and back. And with each roll, you're going to feel your head start to get heavier and heavier. Your arms are super loose like a rag doll. And with each roll, you're just expanding your range of motion, allowing your entire body to just kind of fall in front of you. And now we're going to do some shoulder rolls. So just shouldering your shoulders to the back, or rolling your shoulders to the back, whatever floats your boat. Big circles, really exaggerate that movement. And now we're gonna do arm circles, but we're going to start small. So you're going to start by extending your arms up to the side and just start by making small circles. But gradually, as the interval progresses, you want to start making your circles bigger and bigger until finally you're exploring your full range of motion. Make those circles as big as you possibly can. And now step your feet out wide apart, wider than shoulder width apart. You're going to bend your knees and kind of sweep your hands in front of you. And then as you straighten the legs, you're going to reach up above you. And each time you bend your knees, you're just expanding your range of motion a little more, sinking deeper and deeper into that squat. Now keep the feet where they are. You're just gonna lunge side to side, nice and easy, and add in the arms. So with each lunge, you're reaching across your body like you're trying to throw your arm across the room. Now we're gonna step our feet in and march. Starting with the knees low, but gradually, as the interval progresses, you're going to start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until you're driving your knees up as high as you can, feeling a little stretch in your glutes. And now a nice light jog. We're gonna do the same thing. So starting with the knees low, but then gradually, as the interval progresses, you're gonna start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until you're driving them up as high as you can. Booty kicks. So still a nice light jog, but with each step, you're bringing your foot up behind you, trying to kick yourself in the booty with your heel. Now for this next one, you may need to hold on to a chair or the wall for support. If not, you can just have your hands on your hips. We're just gonna swing the leg. So transferring your weight into one foot, pick up the other leg, and just swing the leg in front and behind you, nice and loose. Switching sides. So you're gonna set this foot down, transfer the weight into the opposite leg, pick up the opposite foot, and just swing the leg. Swing it in front, swing it behind. You can start low, and then start expanding your range of motion. Now we're gonna switch legs again. So you'll put this foot down, transfer the weight, take the other leg, extend it out in front of you, and just make semicircles, bringing that leg around and behind you. And with each semicircle, start lifting the leg higher and higher until finally you can drive that knee up in front of you, kind of guide it around with your hand. Other side. So extend the leg out in front and make a semicircle. Bringing that leg around and behind you, lifting the leg higher and higher with each semicircle, and then finally drive the knee up in front of you, guide it around with your hands. Now last is our hamstring stretch. So you want to do your best to keep your back flat in this stretch because you're going to be able to isolate your hamstrings. So if you use the wall like I'm doing, or a chair, it might make it easier for you, more comfortable to get into this stretch without rounding your back. And you're not gonna hurt yourself if you round your back in this stretch, but if you do your best to keep those shoulder blades tucked into your back pockets, keep the chest lifted high, and do your best to keep your back as flat as you can during this stretch, it's going to really help you to isolate your hamstrings and intensify the stretch. We're only here for a few seconds, so I really want to try to maximize the effectiveness of that stretch. So if you use the wall or you lean on a chair or something for support, it just can make it a little bit easier, a little bit more comfortable getting into this stretch while keeping your back as flat as you can. All right? You guys know me, I always like to spend a few extra seconds in that hamstring stretch because the backs of my legs are always super tight, and I want to make sure that everything's nice and loose and I am ready to go. But that's it. That's our 5+ minute warm up. All right, so now our muscles are nice and warm. Let's get these reps done. I've got my handy dandy little visual aid here so that we can reference the chart. Make sure our workout stays on track. Isn't she beautiful? All right, so get off my chart. Little gnat on my chart. So starting with round 1, right? We're doing 40 dynamic squats, 30 dragon lunges or curtsy lunges, 20 pikes or jackknives, whatever you call them, and 10 burpees, all right? You can do any version of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups you want, but those are the versions I'm doing. And for round 1, we're doing 40 squats, 30 lunges, 20 reps of abs, and 10 push-ups. All right, so as soon as you're ready, here we go, starting with 40 dynamic squats. I am starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. So starting with the feet together, jump the feet out as you sink into the squat, and then jump the feet together as you stand. That's 3, 4, 5. We're going to 40, do your best. That's 40. So our squats are already done. So now 30 lunges. Doing a dragon lunge with a leg lift, alternating sides for the leg lift with each rep. So as soon as you're ready, lunging behind and diagonally across your body, and then lift the leg. That's 1, alternating sides. So lunge behind you and diagonally across the body, lift the leg. That's 2. We're going to 30. Do your best. So dragon lunge, lift the leg, other side, lift the leg. That's 4, 5, 6. Keep going. That's 30. So abs, round 1, 20 reps. Whatever ab exercise you're doing, I'm doing pikes. So wish me luck. 20 pikes, I'm gonna be in tears. So starting with the legs straight, arms extended overhead. Lift the arms, lift the legs, and lower. It's 15. And that's 20. When's the last time I cried to you guys about how weak my abs are? All right, from here on out, everything is sets of 10. All right, so finishing up our slap circuit with push-ups, round 1, 10 reps. I'm doing burpees. You do any push-up variation you want. When you're ready, here we go. So hands down, jump or step the feet back, push up, jump or step the feet in, and jump up. That's 1. I'm gonna zip it so I don't pass out. I need to do 9 more, and that's round 1. Round 1 is done. On to round 2. First is squats, but we've already completed all 40 squats for the day. So we can skip squats, and move on to lunges. 10 reps. As soon as you're ready. S and L, onto A for abs. Remember, from here on out, sets of 10. Every exercise, every round, sets of 10. So 10 pikes, or whatever ab exercise you're doing. That's 10. That's S, L, and A.
So last is P for push-ups. My push-up variation today is burpees. So 10 reps. You do any push-up variation you want. That's round 2. So moving on to round 3. 40 squats in round 1. So squats are done. Next is lunges. 30 lunges in round 1, plus 10 lunges in round 2. Means we've already done 40 lunges all day. So lunges are done. We can skip them. Moving on to abs. 10 reps. That's 10. Last, we're always finishing the circuit with push-ups. So, round 3, push-ups, 10 reps. So another 10 burpees. So that's round 3. Final round. Squats are done. So we skip them. Lunges are done. So we skip them. Abs. We did 20 reps in round 1, then 10 reps in round 2, 10 reps in round 3. So that's 20, 30, 40. That means our abs are done for the day and we can skip them. So all we have left to do is push-ups, 10 reps. We've done 10, 20, 30. We have just 10 more to go. So round 4 is just 10 burpees. All right, when you're ready, here we go. Home stretch, we got this. fine. Push. Last one. That's 10. And that's round 4. We made it. So get up. I know it's hard. That was a tough little workout. Lots of burpees. Believe me, I feel like just collapsing in a heap on my mat, but even if you're feeling like you want to do the same, it's really important to get up and move around while you allow your breathing to normalize, and while you allow your heart rate to come down a little. So I don't ever really do like a structured cool down. I just kind of pace around, and that's enough, okay? The point is just to keep moving, keep the circulation going. So if you like to do a more structured cool down, go for it. But just kind of pacing back and forth is actually more than sufficient, all right? So shake out the legs a little, shake out the hands, shake out the arms. Stretch the shoulders real quickly by just bringing one arm across your body and then using the other arm to pull it in towards your chest. Making sure that the arm that's being stretched, your straight arm, is completely relaxed, and making sure that your shoulder that's being stretched is completely relaxed. If your shoulder's hunched up here and it's tight, that's not going to do anything. The stretch isn't going to do anything for it. Your muscle's not going to be pliable. You're not going to really be able to stretch it unless it's relaxed. So let's get the other arm. Bring the opposite arm across your body. Use your other arm to pull your straight arm in towards your chest. Make sure the straight arm is completely relaxed, and make sure that your shoulder is completely relaxed so that you can get the benefit of that stretch. Both of your shoulders should be relaxed, but since we're stretching this one, it's really important that it's relaxed. All right, so shake out the arms a little, get the triceps real quickly. So just bend your elbow and then place your other hand on the elbow and gently pull this elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Feeling that stretch in your tricep muscle, just making sure that this free hand is completely relaxed. Should be pointing straight down at the ground. So you don't want this hand hanging out up here by the shoulder somewhere. Should be pointing straight down, make sure it's nice and relaxed. Shake it out. Get the tricep on the other side. So bend your other arm. Place your hand on the elbow and gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder, making sure that your free hand is relaxed and pointing straight down at the ground. Just feel that nice stretch in your tricep muscle. And make sure you're making an effort this whole time to slow down your breathing, so do your best to be taking nice, long, deep, controlled breaths while we're doing this little bit of light stretching. And we'll finish off with a little quad stretch. So if you need to hold on to something for support, you can hold on to the wall or a chair. If you struggle with balance, you're going to pick up one foot and bring it behind you. And then you're going to reach back and grab the top of your foot with both hands. And just kind of gently press your heel into your booty cheek. Really press it in there. So even if your balance is normally pretty good, when you're fatigued, it becomes harder to maintain your balance. So if you find that you're falling out of this and losing your balance, even if your balance is normally pretty good, it's just because you're fatigued. Just hold on to a chair or something for support. It's fine. Shake it out. Let's get the quad on the other side.
So pick up the opposite foot, bring the foot up behind you, reach back, and grab onto the top of your foot with both hands, pressing your heel into your booty cheek. And while you do that, make sure that you are tilting your pelvis forward. So it's like you're tucking your booty underneath you, sucking your belly button back to your spine, trying to like touch your spine with your belly button, okay? So tilting your pelvis forward this way. Tuck that booty underneath you. Suck the belly button back, and as you do that, make sure that you're continuing to press this heel into your booty cheek. As soon as you put both of those together, you'll feel that stretch in your quad intensify immediately, okay? Makes the stretch much more effective when you tilt your pelvis forward like that. And now just a couple more deep breaths. Shake out the legs. Shake out the arms, swing the arms, make sure those shoulders are nice and loose. And if you feel that you are still breathing heavily, if you feel that your heart rate is still elevated and you need a few more minutes to cool down, that's fine. Pause the video and just continue. You can just continue to like pace around and do a little light stretching. And when you feel that your breathing has normalized and your heart rate is back down to its resting rate, then come back and we'll get our bonus burpee done together. Real quickly before we do our bonus burpee, I forgot to tell you before the workout, and I almost forgot to do it, our bonus round, okay? This final week of the challenge, we're doing a bonus round after every workout. So that just means that I'm going to do another 10 reps of each exercise. It is completely optional. You do not have to do this if you don't want to. But if you want to include the extra reps, I know I haven't explained yet why we're doing these extra reps. I promise I'll get to it at some point. But for today, just know that this is a tradition that goes back to year 1 of the challenge, okay? So this final week, and I think we started on Saturday. I think it starts on Saturday, but anyway, this whole final week of the challenge, we do an extra 10 reps of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups for a little bonus round. So you don't have to do it. You can skip ahead and do your bonus burpee with me if you want. If you would like to just watch me do it and cheer me on, you can feel free to do that as well, all right? So if you would like to join me for this bonus round, we're just going to do an extra 10 reps of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. So starting with dynamic squats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now lunges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's 10. 10 more reps of abs. So my little weakling ab muscles can cry some more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. My hair smells like coconuts. Just thought you might want to know that, I guess. All right. And before we get to our bonus burpee, we have to do 10 more burpees. So we're doing 11 bonus burpees today. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4,
responsibility for this. 7, 3 more. 8, 9, last one. And that's 10. All right, that's our little bonus round. Fun, fun, fun. So now we have just 1 rep left to go. No workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. So whatever burpee variation you were doing during the workout is fine. Just do 1 more of those. If you were not doing burpees for your push-up variation today, then I will walk you through once more how to do a beginner burpee. Now, I always include a push-up with my burpees, or with my bonus burpees I do. You do not have to include a push-up if you don't want to, okay? There are a million different burpee variations. Many of them include a push-up and many of them do not. So you can choose a burpee variation that includes a push-up. You can choose a burpee variation that does not include a push-up. You don't have to do a push-up if you don't want to, but you do have to do a burpee, okay? You have to do some form of burpee. The bonus burpee itself is mandatory. It is part of the workout. It is part of this challenge for sure. All right, so let me walk you through one final time how to do a beginner bonus burpee with or without a push-up, okay? So you're going to start standing in the middle of your mat. You're going to bend down and place your hands flat on the mat in front of you. And then you're going to step your feet back 1 at a time so that you're in a plank position. Now knees down for the push-up if you're including a push-up. If not, you can eliminate it. Step the feet back in and stand. Come up onto your toes if you can. And if you want, you can add a little jump. If you are not a beginner and you would like to try to do the push-up from your toes, let's go ahead and just do 1 final bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. Final rep of the day. All right, with that, the workout is now officially complete. Nicely done. That ended up taking me 13 minutes and 44 seconds. I did not set a time goal today, but if I had, I can guarantee you it would have been less than 13 minutes and 44 seconds. So I think it's safe to say that I did not make my time goal today. I do think I could have gone a little faster. I probably could have pushed myself a little bit harder, but just remember that it doesn't matter how long it takes you. It's great to have a time goal, and the purpose is to try to finish the reps as quickly as you can without sacrificing your form. But just remember that the priority is getting the reps done, first of all, and secondly, doing them with good form. So your time goal is a little bit, down there on your list of priorities. It is a good idea, I think. It's helpful for me to have a time goal. It helps me to push myself. I didn't set a time goal today. I probably could have completed this workout a little faster than this, but I was working hard today, and that was a tough little workout. And again, the important thing is that I summoned the motivation to get dressed and get my little booty out here and get the reps done. And that's what's important. So as long as you got your reps done with me today, excellent job, well done. So now it's really important that you're taking a good 15 or 20 minutes at least to stretch. Right now, immediately after the workout is going to be the most efficient and the most effective time to get your stretching done. If you do not have time to stretch right now, that's fine. You can stretch later on in the day as long as you get your stretching done at some point during the day. That's all that matters. Just remember that if you put off your stretching until later on in the day, that your muscles will have gotten cold again. So you are going to need to take a few minutes to warm them back up before you begin stretching. The same way, we take 5 minutes to warm our muscles up before starting the workout. You also need to make sure that you are not jumping into your stretching routine with cold muscles. Warm muscles are more pliable. So if you take a few minutes to warm your muscles up before beginning your stretching routine, you are lessening the likelihood
that you're going to injure yourself by overstretching or pulling something or straining a muscle. All right, so if you need a stretching routine, I have a stretching routine that I do every single day. I'm happy to share the link with you, but you can also just open up YouTube and do a search for beginner stretching routine. If you're a beginner and you don't know what to do for stretching, search for a beginner stretching routine. Or if your muscles are super tight, you can search for a stretching routine for inflexible people. There's gonna be tons of great options. So just pick one that looks good to you. It doesn't matter what you do for your stretching, just as long as you're getting it done. Taking the time to stretch every day is going to help alleviate any muscle soreness that you might be experiencing after the workouts. It's also going to help you to reduce your risk of injury moving forward, and it's going to improve your flexibility and your mobility, which is, I think, flexibility and mobility are very underrated and undervalued and overlooked aspects of your overall fitness level. And especially as we age, I think that becomes more important. Keeping your muscles flexible and staying mobile. Things like the ability to get up if you fall, okay? It's easy to take it for granted when you're younger, but when you get older, you will be very thankful to your younger self if you start prioritizing your flexibility and your mobility now. So it's never too soon and you're never too young to start prioritizing those things. So please make sure that you're taking the time to stretch every day. Before I do my stretching, I am going to add on 20 minutes of moderate paced cardio with my jump rope. That is why I'm holding Victoria. If you have not met Victoria yet, this is Victoria, my beautiful silver jump rope with these beautiful light pink metallic handles. And if you would like to know where I got Victoria, there is a link and a coupon code in the description box down below the video, so click on the link and use coupon code RUDEBECCA to save an additional 10% on your jump rope. The additional cardio is not mandatory. It is not officially part of the challenge. I am sharing this with you because every year when I do the challenge, this is how I do it. I add on 20 to 30 minutes or more of moderate paced cardio after every single workout. And the reason I do that is just because I am trying to use this challenge to get myself back in shape. I need to lose weight. I very much need to improve my stamina and my endurance. And I want to improve my cardiovascular health as well. I want to strengthen my heart and my lungs. So the additional cardio just goes a long way towards helping me to accelerate that process, and it enables me to start seeing results faster. And the sooner I start to see the results of all my hard work, the sooner I start to notice changes happening in my body, the sooner I start to notice myself getting stronger and notice my stamina improving. It really encourages me to keep going. And the more encouraged I feel, the easier it is to find the motivation to get up and get dressed and get out here every day and get my reps done. So it also makes the workouts easier. You know, the stronger I get and the more my endurance and my stamina improve, then the easier the workouts themselves become. So that makes it easier to find motivation as well, because I know that once I get out here, the workout is going to be just a little bit easier today than it was yesterday because I'm getting stronger, okay? So I just want to be upfront with you. I want to be completely transparent and let you know that I am doing more than just these 160 reps every day. I am relying solely on these 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, and 40 push-ups that we're doing every day for my strength training. That's all I'm doing for strength training. But I'm adding 20 to 30 minutes or more of moderate paced cardio after every single workout. So if you are also looking to use this challenge to get yourself in shape or lose weight, again, the additional cardio is not mandatory, but it's something to think about. Because if you're able to start adding on 20 or 30 minutes or so of moderate paced cardio after the workouts, it's going to help you to start seeing results faster. So for me, 9 times out of 10, the additional cardio is jump rope. I'm going to set my timer for 40 rounds of 10-second rest intervals and 20-second work intervals. That's 20 minutes. I'm gonna get some music going and just get my cardio done, 20 minutes. Then I'll do my stretching, have a shower, eat some lunch, and get on with the rest of my day. All right, so jump rope is great. If you have a jump rope and you want to jump rope, fantastic, but it doesn't have to be jump rope. It could be any kind of moderate paced cardio you want. So you could take a jog, or you can just go for a brisk walk. If you have a bike, you could go for a bike ride, or if you have something like an exercise bike or a treadmill or an elliptical, you can hop on one of those for about 30 minutes or so. If you have access to a heavy bag, maybe as part of your home gym, or if you have a gym membership and you have access to a heavy bag at the gym, that's another really cool option. You could work on the heavy bag. If you live close to a beach, you could go swimming, or if you have a pool, or if you have access to a pool, you could go swimming. Swimming is fantastic cardio. If you have access to the field at your local high school, you could jog around the track, or you could do up and down the bleachers. Or if you have steps in your home or your apartment complex, or if you live close to a hiking trail or a beach that has steps, up and down the steps is another great option. Or if you live close to hiking trails, you could go for a hike. When I have time, I love to do a nice long hike for my additional cardio, but this year I just haven't had the time for it. So I'm pretty much jumping rope every day. But you get the idea. Any kind of moderate paced cardio is fine. 20 or 30 minutes, more if you want. And I know that we are doing 6 workouts every single week. We're working out every Monday through Saturday. So that means that I'm doing 6 cardio sessions in a row every single week. And I know that's a lot, and you might not be able to do that much. You might not physically be able to do 6 cardio sessions every week, or you just might not have the time, and that's fine. Again, you don't have to do any cardio at all if you don't want to. It's not actually part of the challenge. But if you have time to, even 2 or 3 days a week, if you can find 2 or 3 days a week to sneak in a cardio session, okay? It could be any kind of moderate paced cardio you want. It doesn't have to be more than 20 or 30 minutes, but I strongly recommend trying to find the time to squeeze in at least 2 or 3 cardio sessions a week, if you can. Because again, if you are trying to get yourself in shape or lose weight, it's just going to help accelerate that process for you. You're going to start seeing results faster, and it's going to be encouraging. It's going to help motivate you to keep going and stick with the challenge. And I know that you'll be a lot happier with your results at the end of the challenge. So once more, the additional cardio is not required. It is not mandatory. You don't have to do it. It is not technically, officially, actually part of the challenge, but it is strongly recommended. But whether or not you are doing any additional cardio today, our 161 reps are complete. We did our 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, 40 push-ups, and 1 bonus burpee. And if you did the bonus round with me, that means you did 50 squats, 50 lunges, 50 reps of abs, 50 push-ups, and 1 bonus burpee. So that means you did a total of 201 reps today. So nicely done. If you did this workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. And even if you are not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you to everyone who's doing the challenge with me. This is the most people I've ever had join me for the challenge, and you guys are doing an amazing job. If you are not doing the challenge with me, please remember that it is not too late to join. It is never too late to join. You can jump in today and just do the final few days of the challenge with me, and that's great. If you want to go back to the beginning and start the challenge on day 1, that is recommended. So make sure you save the playlist. Start by watching that day 1 video, and then when you are ready to start the challenge, just remember to start with your day 1 workout on a Wednesday. Any random Wednesday is fine. Just start with your day 1 workout on a Wednesday, and from there, all you have to do is follow along with the playlist and everything will fall into place. I have made it super easy to follow along, but of course, as always, if you have any questions or if you need help along the way, please remember that I am right here to help. I am right here doing the challenge right along with you, but that doesn't just mean that I'm working out with you every single day. It means that I am also here to help. I'm here to answer your questions and provide guidance. I am here to encourage you and support you every step of the way, and I'm here to help motivate you. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or if you need help. I also need to say thank you to all of my new subscribers. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. One final reminder that if anything is unclear about the format of today's workout, in spite of my gorgeous visual aid that I have prepared for you. If you have any questions about the exercises that we were doing for today's workout, any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with beginner modifications beyond what I have already provided, please remember that I am right here to help, so just ask. And you guys, that is a wrap on day 36. Can you believe it? We have just 4 days left to go for this challenge. Amazing. That is going to do it for today. I will see you all right back here tomorrow for day 37. Bye.